Jake Paul was submitted in an unsanctioned MMA fight months before his debut boxing match with KSI's brother. The 27-year-old laced up the 4-ounce gloves for a training session with BJJ black belt AJ Agazarm in February 2018, before agreeing to face Deji Olatunji that August, and while he would go on to find success in the squared circle, it would be a completely different state of affairs in the octagon. At the time, Agazarm was an established name in the world of jiu-jitsu, while Paul was a self-admitted YouTuber and vlogger after making the transition from social media site Vine. Paul was 20 years old at the time, with a significant size advantage over his 26-year-old opponent for the day. The video came in the form of Paul's first known footage competing in MMA or boxing, previously having been pictured in high school wrestling tournaments. And while he clearly struggled under Agazarm's constant pressure, he showed fight fans a taste of what was to come in the near future with his large and in-charge combinations and angle work. Paul found himself smothered in the first round of the sparring session, kept at range by AJ before being taken to the ground, mounted and dominated, helped back to his feet at the end of the round. Paul was breathing heavily and incredibly gassed out, going on to meet his demise in the second. While Paul would find success on the feet, landing a heavy right cross early on, Agazarm was able to shoot for and complete another takedown, make his way into a mount, and submit the YouTuber via a well-executed armbar. Agazarm would sign for Bellator in 2019, building a 3-2 record with the MMA promotion despite losing to Jesse Roberts in his debut. Paul, meanwhile, would win his amateur boxing debut with Deji with a 5th-round TKO before kicking off a pro career in 2020 with a first-round TKO of fellow YouTuber Anesan Gibb. He has built a 9-1 record in the last 4 years, beating UFC stars Nate Diaz, Ben Askren, Anderson Silva and Tyron Woodley twice, his only loss coming in the form of a narrow split decision loss to Tommy Fury in February 2023. While he was scheduled to take on Mike Tyson this weekend, his 58-year-old boxing great opponent was forced to pull out of the bout earlier this year due to medical concerns, with Paul now set to take on 5-0 BKFC star Mike Perry come July 20th in his toughest test to date. But boxing isn't the only sport that Paul is eyeing up a career in, signing a ground-breaking MMA deal with the Professional Fighters League last January. Speaking at the time of the announcement, Paul said, "I've proven myself in and out of the boxing ring and now I am going to do the same in MMA. And there is no limit to the positive impact I can make on the sport." And while Paul is yet to take to the PFL Smart Cage, a rematch under MMA rules with Diaz could still play out in the near future. Paul and PFL founder Don Davis offered Diaz a reported $15 million for a PFL Super fight this year, only for the Stockton native to take up a boxing match with former UFC foe Jorge Masvidal. Despite Diaz turning down the opportunity to atone for his boxing loss to Paul in the cage, Paul says that he's still open to the bout. Speaking at Wednesday's open workout for his upcoming fight with Perry, Paul said, "Nate Diaz should have taken my $15 million MMA offer. But yesterday's price is not today's price. So now that he needs the money, the offer goes down. And I'm still down to run it in the PFL against Nate Diaz."